Jackson, Mississippi, known for its architecture, historical sites, live music, and local cuisine. The city's nickname is even called the City with Soul. But there's a darker side to Jackson that a lot of people might not know about. There are 30 documented missing person cases in the city of Jackson alone. And at the very top of that list is Latasha Crump Coleman. It should be noted that out of all the NamUs pages I have looked at, this is one of the most incomplete pages I've ever seen. Her physical description is very basic, and they didn't even document the vehicle that she was missing in. 46-year-old Latasha Crump Coleman was reported missing by her family on July 19, 2023, after she failed to show up for work. She was a correctional officer for the local prison. Before she was reported missing, Latasha's family went over to her house to see if she was there. She wasn't at home, but what the family did find concerned them greatly. She has 3 dogs, and all 3 of them were left unattended all day, and this is highly unlikely for something that Latasha would do. If she had made plans to leave town for any amount of time, she would regularly call her family to make sure that they went over to check on her dogs. They also noticed that her purse was missing, as well as her 2002 gray Acura MDX with Mississippi tag HPA 8639.
When we arrived in Jackson, we immediately got to work. We noticed that there was 2 ponds that were pretty close to where she was last seen, so we wanted to start there.
From what I've learned, Latasha Crump was in a pretty volatile marriage, and she was in the process of getting a divorce.
And family members believe Coleman's husband knows something about it. A hearing was held today for Derek Coleman, the husband of Latasha Crump Coleman. The hearing was about Coleman filing for an appeal to be released from jail on bond after violating a restraining order against Latasha Crump Coleman. Derek Coleman was ordered to wear an ankle monitor, but we're told not wearing it led to his arrest and being sentenced to 6 months jail time.
And a week prior to her divorce, she vanishes. And there's a whole Facebook page dedicated to finding her, and there's lots of details about this on there. Yeah. But everybody's pointing the fingers at the husband, soon to be ex-husband. And
so it kind of seems like foul play.
That's the way it's looking.
It was a week before she was supposed to get divorced.
Yep.
And the ex-husband is like calls her a bunch of times the day she disappears, and then he's gone.
Yeah, apparently he was blowing up her phone, then she vanishes, and then he stops calling. So,
strange.
I don't know, these 2 bodies of water, they're the closest, yeah, the closest to the house, and it's secluded. So if he could get the car back here, which like walking on this now, it's not, even for as muddy as it is, it's not, I'm not sinking. So it very well could be dry, and he can get it back here.
Man, there could be anything out here. Floating right there.
Yeah, I see that.
There's like a horn cone right there. We gotta search these, man.
Might as well. I
drive.
I don't think you could. I could try mine. Well, all I gotta do is get past that first nasty part, and then all the rest of this is easy.
I mean, we're definitely secluded. I don't see any no trespassing signs or anything.
I don't see anything. Seen a pretty new road, that's about it.
All this trash, people come back here. I drive back here.
All of our sonar equipment is located in the boat that was hooked up to my truck, so we decided to take the truck and the boat back so we could get closer to the lakes instead of trying to pack everything down the dirt road. This would make it easier and speed up the search process.
Could be sitting right here. It'd be pretty darn cool if it was. The fact that you'd get back here and get away with it, that's pretty impressive by itself.
Once we got our boat parked next to the lake, we broke out our RC boat, which we named Bob. Bob stands for Big Orange Boat, and it is our homemade, one-of-a-kind RC sonar search boat.
It's pretty elaborate and pretty crazy. We've shown it before on the channel, but if you haven't seen it, essentially he has a remote control and he drives it around. He's put some propulsion systems on it, and he's got his Hummingbird in there, and he can wirelessly transmit it over here. It's pretty darn elaborate, and he could drive this thing really far, so we could almost clear this entire thing standing right here, just with that alone.
While Adam controls the boat using the remote control, I monitor the sonar to see if there are any vehicles located in this body of water. Sadly, I don't think this is the water that's going to have her car in it.
So far, this first one is mostly too shallow. Right down the middle, it was about down to 8 feet, just for a second. I don't think this is the one. No. Well, we can carry it over to that other one and make sure. Cleared the first one. We gotta hike this thing back here because the truck can't make it. It's not too far, it's just awkward. Far enough to be annoying.
We decided to walk the RC boat over to the second lake because the road was too uneven and we was afraid the truck might tip over due to the camper. Luckily, the second lake was not very far away. After scanning the second lake and determining there were no cars out there, we got ready to bring the boat in, but we noticed that there was something else very large out in the water. We didn't know what it was, but we knew it wasn't a car. We decided to leave it there and search it another day.
I don't know what the heck that is, but it is huge. Alright, so both of these are clear. We have a giant reservoir. And we still have that pond that might have had ties to the family, but I don't know that for a fact. And then there's 1,000 little bodies of water everywhere. So, shooting in the dark.
Our next location is a lake that could have ties to Latasha's husband. We want to search it, but we found out really quick that that might be a little harder than we think.
So we drove over to this pond, or it's actually like, I guess a lake. But I mean, you can access it, but man, this is a horrible part of town. And there's signs everywhere, private property. I don't know, man, this place is freaking me the hell out. I'm going to go talk to Adam real quick. I don't know. I mean, unless he's directly connected to some, like whoever lives here.
They take care of the grass. I mean, you have to be really.
Well, I mean, they got that yard's chained up. They look like they really, really don't want to go. I don't know. It's either.
Yeah, lines and stuff. No.
They're either in on it or we're barking up the wrong tree. You know. I think we're definitely.
There's trash, garbage. It's the most disgusting way.
That was horrible. Like
wild dogs running around.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think that's a dead end too, isn't it?
No, it keeps going. That truck's just parked. I don't know what's going on. It's like parking near the road. I don't know. I say we
might have put a big question mark in this one. I don't think so, just because of the way this looks. Unless the bad guy knows them and they're in on it. But that's the only way.
Yeah.
We could. I mean, the water's mud or black anyways. You're going to see a car in it. I don't know. We still got the reservoir we can knock out.
Jackson has a huge reservoir, and that's where we're heading to next.
Ross R. Barnett Reservoir. It's a heck of a name. Well, that's the reservoir we're at. And kind of quiet. I mean, it's as good as place as any. There's lots of boat ramps. Maybe 3 o'clock in the morning it's dead over here and they can get away with dumping a car. It's not gated. Looks like people come over here all the time flipping their donuts. So,
yeah, I mean,
possible.
I think these big bodies of water are always the most obvious spots, which you wouldn't think would be the case. I'm sure it's deep enough out here.
Oh, yeah. What you want to bet? There's going to be a car right here. Might not be her, but I bet you there'll be something. This just looks like a prime spot.
Considering it's all open.
Yeah, this is wide open.
There's a lot of traffic that comes through. You'd think somebody with their sonars, but I guess people don't turn their sonars on until they get out farther.
Or they don't care. Like, oh, there's a car, and they just keep going.
Check it out.
let's showcase the boaters parking over here.
Well, apparently,
as you can see behind us, here's these nice marked places to park your boat, and then we got these three jokers.
I think it was like the domino effect where one person did it, because it does kind of look like a parking space.
It does, but I mean, come on. 5 seconds into it, you should have known. Like, we probably shouldn't park in front of the boat ramp, but nope.
And it's 3 different boaters who you would think one of those would at least be a local that knows better.
Well, 2 of them are driving avalanches, so I kind of get their mindset.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we can get our boat in somehow. So luckily a police officer showed up and gave everybody a ticket for parking their boats all weird, or their boat trailers, right in the way of the boat ramp. So good on her. Reservoir cops, they're on it. I mean, I'm not one to get people in trouble, but what kind of idiot thinks that that's where you park? Right in front of the boat ramp. It's so stupid. Yeah, 5 feet at the first boat ramp. Not very good, but the car could still technically be here. Like, bad guys don't know how deep it is out here unless they're like local.
Yeah.
They could push a car in, it's just like barely underwater, but so icky.
There's no gate here or nothing. That's why I was like, it'd be almost too obvious to put a car here.
Too obvious.
I'm sure they've gone in before.
It's a little too rash.
I don't see any, so.
No, definitely.
So we're gonna go around though and hit all the boat ramps. There's not an insane amount, but I wouldn't also say it's a small lake by any means.
All right. Well, where's the next stop?
To park on the other side of the RV park. I guess go that way first.
Oh yeah. Does it look secluded?
It's a park that you can drive around, and then there's a boat ramp farther down.
Well, first boat ramp is definitely clear, so mark that one off. Bobby Cleveland Park, huh? So right around the way, huh? That's where we're going. The problem with this lake is we looked at the map, and like a lot of it is like a couple feet. Yeah. You know, like especially when you go that way. We're near the dam now, but we was back over there, and I'm like, man,
it's shallower that way.
Yeah, it was like 2 feet at one boat ramp, and it just keeps getting shallow. I was like, all those boat ramps, you can automatically debunk it. And over here, it's so public, I'd be really surprised if there'd be a vehicle over here, but I've seen it before, so you never know.
I don't know, this might be our last spot.
Might be. Yeah, I thought Reservoir would be a lot more spots, but most of this thing is really shallow.
That's the thing, is like, there's obviously those lakes that are like 200, 300 feet crazy, but a lot of the lakes, I'd say more often than not, that we go to are shallow-ish.
Most of them are man-made.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. She's not out here. She's not in your typical bodies of water with boat ramps. But this place is surrounded by little swampy lakes and ponds. And dude, being a local, if he did it, he might know spots that we didn't even think of. And there is that one lake that we went and looked at yesterday. But it's fortified.
Oh yeah.
And it was deep in a not a well-looking place, I guess, if that makes sense. So that could be the dump site, but that means this got a whole lot darker because there's no way to dump a car in that thing without the people who live there knowing. So they're either, like I said, in on it, or that's not the spot. That's my 2 cents on that one.
The obvious bodies of water have been searched, and Latasha's family is desperate for answers. As we continue the search, we will be scanning every body of water in and around Jackson. If she's in the water, we will find her.